you realize that when you walk through a forest, you're moving through a majestic, vertical graveyard? Every tree you see is, biologically speaking, mostly dead. Its living part is limited to an incredibly thin layer, no thicker than a sheet of paper, trapped between a rigid skeletal past within and a dead outer bark that shields it from the harshness of existence. Trees are not merely plants, they are the greatest existential strategy on Earth. Although most of their mass consists of lifeless tissue, they build their bodies out of nothing, literally from air, mercilessly dissolve rocks with acids, and carry within their veins a tremendous negative pressure that could crush your body instantly. How does this system succeed? Let us return to the first great biological uprising, the eternal struggle toward the light. For a billion years, the ancestors of plants lived in the isolation of sunlit oceans. Fragile bodies absorbed water directly and drew energy from photosynthesis, transforming light and carbon into simple sugars. But 470 million years ago, these organisms made what seemed like a suicidal decision. They invaded the barren land. Clinging to the soil like a hungry green carpet, unable to float, they entered a new battle, the battle of spatial awareness and vertical ascent. The taller they grew, the more light they captured, casting their competitors into shadow. Height became a lethal weapon in the war for existence beneath the sky. In the beginning, plants relied on cellulose, a material sufficient for form but incapable of greatness. After millions of years of evolution, lignin emerged, a complex rigid molecule resistant to decay, like reinforced concrete in a world of jelly. It filled the gaps and gave plants the structural strength to endure. Then, around 385 million years ago, wood was born, the material that granted trees dominance. They rose dozens of meters high and became the largest living organisms on land. The mechanics of continuous death. This immense size created a biological dilemma. How do you move water from deep roots to towering leaves? If we split a trunk open, we would find at its core the cambium, a thin layer of stem cells growing inward and outward. The inward-growing cells become wood. As they mature, they fill with lignin, harden, empty themselves, and die completely. What remains are hollow, rigid tubes, a graveyard of billions of dead cells we call wood. These tubes form a vast network stretching to the crown, transporting water with an efficiency that seems to defy physics. Water molecules cling together like magnets. As water evaporates from leaves under the sun's heat, tension forms, pulling the entire column of water upward from the roots. This force can lift water over 100 meters, generating negative pressure beyond what our finest engineers can replicate. Because under such pressure, water would boil inside our machines. Yet tree vessels are so narrow and sealed that the water remains liquid. Over time, true growth is a silent, deliberate expansion, much like the rings of an ancient oak tree. By joining this circle of exploration, you are not just joining a channel, but committing to a shared evolution of consciousness alongside a community that values depth over noise. Old tissue transforms into dense, decay-resistant wood. The thin layer of living consciousness. The cells growing outward form the inner phloem, or vascular phloem, the true transport system for sugars and information. Some of its cells lose their nuclei and internal components upon maturation, relying on companion cells for survival. Thus, the truly living part of the tree is a very thin layer surrounding the trunk, while the rest of its mass is functionally dead. Outside this layer, the outer bark, also dead, forms to act as a shield protecting this fragile biological consciousness. Are trees immortal? They don't age as we do. Theoretically, they can grow indefinitely, unless destroyed by external forces. This is why some trees alive today witnessed the construction of the pyramids 5,000 years ago. It is the world that kills them, not time. Trees are not just a class of plants. They are a success strategy that has triumphed in the battle for the heavens and dominated the planet for millions of years. Yet, that is only half the story. Beneath the surface, roots connect through intricate fungal networks. Their world is deeper than we imagine, and now many forests are disappearing. Time is running out to protect what remains of this living history. If your life were a tree, what part of your history has become heartwood, dead yet giving you essential strength? Reflect on this in the comments. And if you know someone who yearns for this level of profound wisdom, share this knowledge with them as a form of intellectual responsibility. Thank you for enriching your awareness with us. Would you like my style to be more mystical or perhaps more scientific?